Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? Martijn446, not with a tour review for you or a review or something, but this is going to be a very different video, I have to say, because first thing I have to mention is summer, for me at least, is almost ended. This is my very last summer day, unfortunately. But this is the very last summer day, and tomorrow we're back on track and going to school again. Yes, my summer is almost ended. This is my very last day. My very last day. And if you saw my talking about the month of June when the summer has started, I have promised to do a special video which was my opinion of the school year, and I've promised. Today I will put up the video called Martijn446 videos talking about my school year, and I'm gonna talk my opinions of school year 2010/2011. But first, I want to talk about my holiday. I have to say, wow, oh wow. My holiday was, specadelic. It was amazing. It was definitely fantastic. It was, fantastic. I had such a great time. I had such a great time. I felt very happy, and I loved summer this year. The first week I was you know, just being home, just doing things in my free time. Really enjoyed it. The second week I was already going to vacation to Texel with a friend 1 week, and then one week later, I was going to the holiday where I was 4 weeks, Schimmelink Oog. And if you saw my talk about the month of July, you saw where I was been, which is pretty funny. But I loved summer this year. I loved summer this year. I loved it. If I have only little drawback, and I will later come into it later more, but one little drawback I have is the fact it felt a little too fast. Some people say why it felt too fast. I will later talk about that. But I just loved summer. I had an amazing time. I had everything what I need, and everything was just amazing. I was pretty sad when I had to return to my own house when I was going away from Schimmelink Oog. Also, I want to mention is I will maybe return on Schimmelink Oog 1 week at October. Maybe not, but we'll see about that. So I had one awesome summer. Also, the entire year from begin to September, from late August to the ending of June, I had one school year at least, and I have to say, since 2008, probably 2009, every year was kind of feeling faster and faster and faster. I thought that 2009 was fast, 2010 was even faster, but this year was, a hell of a rocket. When I had the feeling it was November, it was already January, and when it was January, it was already April. Really strange. Really strange. My mom always said if you have a fast school year, you really enjoyed it. But I will later come into it. I have to say, this was probably the fastest school year I've ever met. And that's the reason I had a little complaint with my summer. It felt a little too fast. When I had when I was 4 weeks at Schiermonnikoog Oog, I had a feeling that we've been at probably 2 weeks. And that's the reason I feel pretty sad when I had to come back. But I had just an amazing time at summer. But this year was probably the fastest year I ever have met. Probably every month was going like a rocket. I mean, really. Also, I want to kind of come back. At my opinions of the month that has passed this year. Of course, I have probably no opinion right now about August. I will later tell about that about the end of August. It's about over 10 days or something. But every month this year, except for September 2010, I did a talking about the month video. I started with October, but I first want to talk about September. I have to say, I'm not a huge September guy. I'm not really a huge fan of September, to be honest. I always have a feeling from crap, I have to go back to school, and it's getting the summer is going to end, which sucks. But actually, September 2010 was a pretty solid, awesome looking month, I have to say. It was pretty solid. Actually, that was actually the best time that everything was nice to you at my high school, at least. That's one really big plus, I have to say. Every kid at my actual high school was nice because I don't know, everything was nice. October, I did actually talking about the month of October. October was actually pretty good in my opinion. October was pretty good. I had some really good times in October. One thing being is I was going to London with my grandpa and a little brother. And also I was going to at a amusement park, at the Halloween, which is really awesome. And also I met there 66 James Road. November, I have to say, I did a lot of things at the November, but I have to say, November wasn't the greatest. I did a lot of things at November, but still, November wasn't the greatest, I have to say. Being the fact that my class was stupid and that kind of stuff, it kind of dropped November, which is unfortunate. I'm really excited for this November, I have to say. November 2011, I will make it an awesome month because Assassin's Creed Revelations is coming out. Oh yeah, but November wasn't the greatest, I have to say. Now we go to December. December is probably one of my favorite months of the year. I actually really like December this year. I really like December. Probably the nicest thing of December was probably Christmas. Christmas was amazing, I have to say. I think a more step up than previous year. So December was really good in my opinion. I think still today, the weakest month of the bunch of this year was probably January. January pretty sucked. It sucked quite a bit. Being the fact there wasn't really much snow out there, I really wasn't a big fan at all. One thing that always was stupid was, again, my school was stupid. I mean, and I will later talk about my class, but January, I have to say, the weakest month of this year, in my opinion. February, February is probably of this year one of my favorite months of this year or so. I really liked February. It was really fast and very solid too. Very solid. I did also pretty much things in February and I really enjoyed it. Then we go to March. I have to say, I'm not always a big fan of March, but this particular March this year was great, except for 1 week. But I actually told that at talking about the month of March 2011. But I really liked March quite a bit. It was a great month. Was a little slower than February or January, but it was still a great month. April, by the way, April is also one of my favorite months of this year. It was really solid. It was really nice weather. It was really nice. There was almost no rain in April, which I really liked. I really liked April quite a bit, I have to say. May was pretty good in my opinion. May was also pretty solid in my opinion. I did also pretty much things that May, but I have to say May wasn't as good as April, but I did like May quite a bit. One thing I have to complain about May, it was sometimes a little on the boring sense, I have to say, but it was still as a good month. I was very excited for June. June, I have to say, was alright. It was alright. It wasn't the greatest at some point, being the fact that there was a lot of raining in my country. That ruined almost my brother's sweet 16. Well, he had not a real sweet 16, but he had just the 16th birthday, and it almost ruined the birthday, in my opinion. The rain. Really don't like rain at that point. So June was good, but it could have been a little better. July, by far, July was probably the best month of this particular year. I mean, July was pure awesomeness. Pure awesomeness. Sorry. I had a great time at July. And August, we're now at August, almost ending August. I have to say, August is a really fast but a great month. So that were my month overlook of this particular year. Sorry it took a little long. And now we're gonna talk about, I actually at least gonna talk about my school year. I have to say, I had an alright time in high school. It wasn't bad at some point, but it could have been so much better. It could have been at least so much better. Let me tell you, I had things going on at sometimes. First of all, I was really excited for my class when I first came at high school. When I first saw my class, it was actually a really nice class. Especially in September, everybody was nice. But then late October, they were kind of beginning kind of stupid, and you know. But November was 1 month that did really stupid. December was alright. January was probably the worst in my opinion. That's the reason I really didn't like January at all. And I really wasn't just a big fan of my class. So, and I mean, the school year I think was probably one of the biggest letdowns of this particular year or so. Also, the winter of this year really sucked in my opinion. Almost no snow, almost no ice, really suckish and kinds of stuff. But school always plays a big part at a particular year. This particular school year was alright, but it could have been better. If I have a number for that particular year, I'd probably give it a 6. I don't know, probably a 6. I have to say, 2010, my last my last class at elementary school was 1,000,000 times nicer. 1,000,000 times nicer than this particular class. Because everybody in my old class did have respect for me. But this particular school year, almost nobody. Really wasn't a big fan of my class, at least. But I'm very glad. I'm pleased as punched that I'm going to a very new class. I saw my class list at the internet, and I was so happy. I'm gonna be at a awesome class with very nice kids, and I'm gonna make a awesome year. An awesome year the next year. So I'm really excited, pretty excited for tomorrow, because tomorrow we will get our new lesson list, kinds of stuff, and then the day after school begins again with my new awesome class. So yeah, that's kind of it, guys. If I have one number for my entire school year, I'd probably give it a 6 or a 5.5. Really wasn't a big fan of my class at all. Probably give this entire school year probably a 7.5 or probably a 7. If I have to curious, probably a 7.8. Probably a 7.8. The summer by far, I'd probably give summer probably a 9.2. Also, the figures that came out this particular year were awesome. That's the reason they're standing the Gore Predator and the Technology 800, because these figures are probably one of my favorite figures I've picked up this particular school year. So also other figures like the Kratos figure and other figures, but those two at least, and some other figures, are probably one of my favorite figures I've picked up this particular school year or so. But I liked Schoolyear, not Schoolyear. Schoolyear was actually nice, but the summer was awesome. My class pretty sucked, but I feel that next year will be awesome. I just feel that next year, next school year or tomorrow, next school year will be awesome. So I'm very excited for that. Comment down below which are your opinions of this particular school year. But there was again a video from Martijn446, and I'll see you guys next time with another review.